Today we are talking about the Cobb BBQ, and what I would like to do is really investigate whether or not this barbecue is going to be getting packed onto the camper van for when we go on our trip and we move into the van. Now I've had this barbecue, it must be 7-8 years, and when I first purchased it I used it twice and I didn't like it. I put it back in the cupboard and I didn't use it again, and there was a number of reasons for that. It didn't do what I thought I was going to use it for. I couldn't seem to get it up to temperature. I couldn't get it to hold the temperatures, and I didn't work it very well. But then I took my time and my advice, and I now need to clean that because Rupert's licked it. I took my time, I read up on them, and then I realised actually you need to think about this differently. So I don't think of this really as a fast fire barbecue anymore. I think of it as a field oven. And when you think of it as a field oven, it really transforms how powerful this piece of equipment is. And when you've got a little Westie like we've only got 2 gas rings. We haven't got a grill, we haven't got an oven. So this really does plugs a hole that we've got in our cooking capability, and on top of that it is incredibly economical. So I use the Weber Go Anywhere as well. I sometimes use kind of the bigger barbecues, and I find they just swallow charcoal. These things are incredibly efficient and they make it perfect for traveling on the road. So I'm going to just quickly show you what's in them, and then we're going to get stuck right into it. So first of all, you've got your lid, plenty of holes in the lid to allow the venting. Next is the standard attachment. Now this has got a heat deflector in the middle, which basically stops things from burning in the middle, allows the hot air to come through these holes and swirl around this dome, creating the oven effect. Next in the kit is this, incredibly important, and in fact the first time I used the Cobb, I was out camping and for some reason I hadn't packed that, and that was part of the reason why I had an issue, because it had blocked the air vents. This is your basket that you put fuel in. You can see how small that is, and that will cook. If you fill that with the right fuel, it will cook for around 3, sometimes 4 hours, and give you a really nice steady heat. I would say it's probably equivalent to 160 to 200 degrees on your oven. So it's really nice, really small, and you can carry loads of fuel. Next is where the basket sits within, and this is what we would call the well. Now your fuel sits in this and sits in there, and if I show you a bit closer, you'll see there's a well, and in that well you can do a number of different things. You can put vegetables in there and let them roast slowly, or you can put wine in there and beer in there and kind of infuse any sort of meat or any sort of dish that you're cooking with flavours from the well. You can also use it to lower the temperature of the Cobb, which not many people realise, and is really handy if you want a really long, slow cook. And then the next bit is just the holder, and that's it. And when the barbecue is lit, and you might have seen in one of our older videos where we cooked just a simple roast chicken on this, we actually had to move the van, and we were able to do that quite easily because we were able to hold the outside of the Cobb there. It doesn't get hot there, it gets incredibly hot inside. Now, if you're going to be using the Cobb barbecue, I would really strongly recommend, first of all, your basic plate. But if you want to transform your Cobb, get one of these, the roasting rack. You pop that on there, it fits really nice. And that kind of takes anything off the bottom to stop it from burning on the bottom. And that is now, for me, an oven shelf. So if you read anything, you're cooking anything like you would in an oven, that's like having a middle shelf in your oven. Pop anything on that, jack of potatoes or whatever, and it will just cook really evenly because the air will circulate around it. Now, if you want to transform your Cobb into something that you can cook bigger, I would really recommend one of these. And this actually isn't mine, this is Mark's, but I am dying to get my hands on one because a couple of times I've been caught short when I put a chicken on here, I put the lid on and it's not quite high enough. But with one of these, and it's nice to know they fit both, you can pop that on, pop the lid, and that just gives you the extra height. So if you're putting a whole chicken in there, it gives you plenty of room, and you need the air around the chicken to be able to circulate in order for it to cook properly. So that is, in very simple forms, the Cobb barbecue. And there are a couple other attachments as well that I would really recommend, because not only are they perfect for the Cobb, but they're actually perfect for living in your van as well, or going away in your van. And that is this, the hot plate. Now it's a really thick pan on the bottom, and I think there's a stone in there, but I think it's just heavy metal. Now you can do a couple of things with this. You can pop it on there and have it as a frying pan, eggs, bacon, sausages, you can do it on there. You might have seen me do it already in maybe the Cornwall video. I think I use this attachment. I've done pizzas on it as well, but you can get a designated pizza stone. And what I like about the Cobb is these things, the handles. I can use that handle to take off the frying pan, and then if I want, rather than carry another frying pan on the van, I just use this on my stove, and it saves packing another pan. It's really flat. Take the handle off, that slides really nice into the shelves, doesn't take up any room, I haven't got any long handles, and these removable handles just fit really nice. Now these handles are brilliant because, you know that basket that we put fuel in? You use it for that as well. But what I want to do in this review is determine whether or not I should be sticking with the good old trustworthy Cobb that I've had for 7-8 years. I know it performs well, I know it really copes, or do I upgrade or downgrade, whichever way you look at it, to the Cobb Compact. In order to kind of do a comparison, what I want to do is have a look at the differences. So straight away we can see, lids on, Cobb Compact is smaller, as you would expect. The width I think is 30 centimeters. They look to be exactly the same. The height difference, the lids I think are the same size as well. I think the big space saver is this bit here, and actually how much will that impact the way the Cobb performs, and that's something I'm really keen to find out. So, and I need one of those lid handles because, you know, where do I put this now? On my carpet in the van. I guess the initial thing I'm looking at right now is the cooking surface on the Cobb Compact is much closer to the coals than the cooking surface on the normal Cobb, which for me tells me that, and I know Mark's told me this, is Cobb Compact gets incredibly hot on that frying pan. So for cooking steaks and stuff, it's quite ideal. For me on this, the frying pan doesn't get hot enough quite often, and that is for me a little bit of a downside to the normal size Cobb. So when I'm using standard kind of frying pan on top here, I find that it's a steady heat. It's fine, it's perfect for cooking sausages actually, but sometimes I would just like something to be a little bit hotter so I can use it quicker. So that might actually, the Cobb Compact might actually help me better for what I want, as long as we see a really good steady performance which we see on the traditional Cobb. Right, next thing we need to talk about is fuel. Now this is the difference between having a good Cobb experience and having a bad Cobb experience. Cobb sell Cobb stones. The official ones, the original ones, are pretty good. You light them, pretty soon the smoke goes, and they're good to cook for about 2 hours. Quite handy, not cheap, but really compact, and you save a lot of space by using them. So would I recommend them? I probably would, but I don't buy them or use them myself just yet. For me, I use these. The Australian heat beads. Now these things for me are incredible. Once you put them into the basket, I've been cooking on these for 4 hours, sometimes more. Sometimes I just let things just cook slowly, you know, 5-6 hours, and it will still stay a little bit warm and keep things warm. So we've had the hot plates on, we've had the lids on. We're gonna fry an egg. Straight away looking at it, the Compact is definitely hotter on the hot plate. I'm actually happy about, because we were talking about this earlier, if that cooking station is too hot, you can use the extension ring, which you want to be getting anyway if you want to be cooking big joints of meat. Raise the hot plate on top of this, and that will probably become a similar heat to what we've got on the Premier. Whereas the Premier, even though I've got really good quality fuel in there and it's burning hot, it was actually 200 degrees with the lid down. Having the hot plate on just doesn't give me the searing temperature that I would like on a hot plate like that. So for me, frying pan test, Cobb Compact wins. Right, we are about 40 minutes into the cook. We've got temperature probes in each of the chicken thighs. On this one, we're now showing 76 degrees, and on the Cobb Premier, we're showing 66 degrees internal temperature, which basically means this chicken is safe to eat. this chicken isn't quite ready, and it's not safe to eat, and I guess we're really surprised. The Cobb Compact has operated at a higher temperature and has gave us a better texture of the chicken skin than what the Cobb Premier has done, and I kind of feel like I'm cheating on my old trusty girl over here. I've been with this one for 7-8 years and she's never really let me down. We had a rough start, but we discovered what we liked about each other. But then here comes the hotter, younger, slimmer model, and I think it looks prettier as well. I mean, they've both got good personality, but this one, this one's a winner. So I think let's lift the lids off and let's just kind of show why I think if I take a Cobb on the trip with me, why will it be a compact? And that's the reason there. That skin is getting crispy, it's golden brown. The skin on this side, whilst it's cooking through, it's not great. So I think, Mark, we're going to eat the chicken from the compact, and I'm going to put your lid there and the beautiful lid holder. And this chicken I'm going to flip upside down and get some heat direct on it to try and crisp it up a little bit, which is what I'd usually do. But this, especially the one in the middle, I'm really impressed. Really, really impressed. Well done, Cobb. You brought something out that was smaller, more compact, cooks, gives better results and gives you better flexibility when cooking. Well done, Cobb. You've made it better. You've made something that I didn't think could get any better. Although we did have a little chat before, and we said if you could incorporate like a glass somewhere in the lid, I know it would be really difficult to design, but if you could incorporate glass in the lid so we didn't have to sit there and wonder if it was getting on all right. You know, peeking, opening the lid and having a peek on the Cobb damages your Cobb performance. You have to put the lid on and forget about it. We've done a fried egg. This fries eggs better. We've roasted some chicken. They both distribute the heat very, very well, so we cannot fault any of them on that. But this actually maintained a better heat, got back up to temperature quicker, and using this exact same amount of fuel from the same fuel source, this operated at a higher temperature, which tells me there might be, I don't know why, I don't know what the science is. So if you're looking for a Cobb and you don't know whether you should get the Cobb Premier or the Cobb Compact, well, I can't think of a reason why you'd go for the Premier over the Compact. That I'm really struggling to find a reason why you'd have this size one over the Compact if you're camping. Nope. Can you think of a reason, Mark? I genuinely can't think of a reason why I'd have the Premier over a Compact. This fries better. It roasts equally, if not better, than the Premier. The only thing that we can think of is that this might burn longer than that. This might be more efficient on fuel. But I don't think it is, and I don't think that matters, because you don't need to worry about, you know, the last 15 minutes of cooking on charcoal is not really a big deal. It's the first 2-3 hours, and the first 2-3 hours I would say the Cobb Compact outperformed the Cobb Premier. So I'm going to be taking the Cobb with me away on the trip, 100%. I'm going to take a Cobb with me. I really, really believe in the Cobb BBQ, and it offers something that a touring stove doesn't, and it offers something other barbecue stove doesn't offer. It offers me a field oven, which is fantastic. It will really open up the recipes that we can do on the road. And I am going to be getting a Compact, not a Premier, because the Compact is smaller, and it cooks better. I can fry better on it. I can oven bake just as good on it, and with the extender ring I can lower the temperatures of the frying plate quickly, rather than putting extra fuel in. So if you're looking at buying a Cobb for your camper van and you don't want the oval ones, get the Cobb Compact.